And we got some more people tuning in as we speak. We are live. Welcome, everyone, to our little get together, our Success Mastermind for Monday, the 27th of September, 2021. John Lavenia here with you, still in my gym clothes. Actually, I haven't worn this shirt in a while. It's kind of ornate. Look at that. Kind of cool. Anyway, glad to be here with you all. Hopefully, you all had a great weekend. It has been nonstop action here in the Lavenia household. And I know for many of you, because the internet never sleeps. It has been a busy weekend for a lot of people with things that we've been getting done. Today, it's going to be a busy day here in the Mastermind group as well, because we have our e-commerce work group coming up at 3 p.m. Eastern U.S. time. Yes, right, 3 p.m. Eastern U.S. time. And that was actually started by none other than Stuart, who is here with us right now, Stuart Wild. We have Emma and Neil who host that now. And that broadcast has changed hands a couple of times as we've had different people giving different perspectives on e-commerce, volunteering their time for the benefit of everyone who's involved in that business model, which has many forms, right? E-commerce is a broad term at this point. So that's at 3 p.m. Eastern. Tune into that. And then at 9 p.m. Eastern, I will be here with everyone for part 3 of Wake Up and Live by Dorothea Brand. We read chapters 6. We read through chapter 6. So 7, 8, 9, chapter 7, 8, 9 tonight. Let's do that. And the next week we'll wrap up with the final 3 or however many chapters are left. I think 3. So good stuff. Of course, last week when we covered that, we finally got out of the first 4 chapters, which were kind of earth-shaking for a lot of people, and got into chapter 5 and beyond, where we're actually writing the direction, as Dorothea says, writing the direction. Chapter 5, and then 6 gave us some ways to know that we're actually on the path. So anyway, great book. Glad a lot of you are tuning into it. What else? I've got something today that I can go ahead and share with you right now, and it's just some perspective, having been as busy as I am. You know, one of the blessings of having a lot to do is that you don't suffer a whole lot of time wasting, right? Now, there was a time, this is interesting, there was a time when I would talk about how busy I was all the time. I'm so busy. How you doing, John? I'm friggin' busy. And sometimes I'll still let people know, just to make, lighthearted. Yeah, I'm busier than a one-legged man in an ass-kicking contest. And I am, and that's fun. I get a chuckle from people. That's nice. Okay, but if I'm focused on just how busy I am, and that causes me to be curt, right? Abrupt, exceedingly brief with people, that can also be taken the wrong way. It reminds me of something that actually Donald Trump said. He said, I don't care if my employees like me, but I demand that they respect me. And so I look at that sort of perspective, and I'm thinking there is a statement or an assertion from someone who obviously achieves things and is very competent at what he does. And regardless of whether or not you agree with what the media has portrayed him to be, here's a guy who has accomplished a lot. And when I look at that attitude, right, that you can like me, not like me, I don't care, but respect what we're doing here, respect my work, right? I look at that as a nice, objective, balanced approach to how you could deal with people as a high achiever. Now, you may be saying, well, John, I'm not a high achiever. Oh, well, right there, if that's what just went through your mind, well, I'm not where, this Trump guy is, or even where, John is, as I'm hearing these words coming out of his mouth. I'm just doing my own little projects here. And who am I to show up like that? Here's the punchline. You won't be a high achiever or running at high levels if you're waiting for the result to happen before you start behaving that way. In other words, this comes back to a principle we've talked about many times. It's be, do, and have in that order. Be, do, have. But it's so seductive and so easy to fall into the pattern of, well, once I have, like, let's say I was making $1 million a month or whatever, right? Like some billionaire. Okay, well, then I would behave more. I would do the things. Hold on a second. Dog opening my door while I'm in the middle of a broadcast, and my daughter had a sleepover last night, so we're going to go ahead and keep the door closed right now. But But once I have those fruits on the tree, well, then I'll behave. I'll do right. Once I have, then I'll do like these other high achievers do, and then I'll, of course, I'll be a high achiever. It's never going to happen. Never, never, never. Right? Because life or law or universe always works in the other direction. It's be. You must be something in order to do something, said Johann Wolfgang von Goethe back in the 1800s. One must be something in order to do something. Well, that sounds exceedingly simple. Of course, right? I couldn't do something. I couldn't pick up this piece of paper if I wasn't being a person right now who has, hands who could pick up paper, right? So one must be something before you can do something. And one must do something before you have something, right? So right now I don't have, based on what's in my hands, I don't have the paper. But when I do something, now I can have it. So it's be, do, have in that order. So bringing this into a bigger perspective, well, if I ever intend to be this person who demands respect and is not so damn attached to, whether you like me or not, right? If I intend to have high results, that would allow me to have more options in my life and authentically, not putting on an act here. It's not fake it till you make it. Fake it till you make it doesn't work. But if I intend to, and really expect to manifest these results, to experience the lifestyle and that which I say that I want in my life, the reason I'm showing up anyway, well, then I've got to put on that beingness in advance. I've got to decide who I am at the outset. This comes back to a statement from Napoleon Hill in Think and Grow Rich in the chapter on organized planning, where he said, decide at the outset, whether you intend to become a leader in your chosen calling or remain a follower. Decide at the outset whether you intend to become a leader, be, or remain a follower. And he went on, the difference in compensation is vast. The follower cannot reasonably expect the compensation to which a leader is entitled, although many followers make the mistake of expecting such pay. And why do we do that? It's the whole fake it till you make it thing. Well, you know what? If I just kind of hoped or, watched The Secret a couple more times, or, maybe read half a book before I put it on the shelf, and maybe lifted a finger a little bit, maybe then I could, get that money. Like these, I saw the sales pitch on the internet where the guy with the rented Ferrari was talking about how he's an internet guru or something. And all I got to do is click the easy button. And now, I can use his magic system. And then I will have without having become. I will have without actually doing. A lot of people think that the only way to get to those big results is to either violate the law. And we see examples of that. That's temporary, by the way. That's temporary because we see a lot of people getting what they haven't earned in like criminal organizations and governments and other type criminal organizations. So there's that. The other consideration would be that if I get lucky, like if I win the lotto or something, well, then I can have. But right now I don't have, right? So what people have or don't have, and what they reinforce with the other examples, which temporarily appear to violate law, okay, they put themselves into their own cage of, well, once I have more, or if the universe smiles upon me or something, I'm not going to do for myself, but if something is done to me or for me, well, then I will have this transformation. The transformation has to start from within. I guess that's the punchline to this whole thing. The transformation has to start from within. So back to my original point, excuse me, which I noticed just because I'm so busy. Not sitting here angrily asserting how busy I am, just objectively looking. And I noticed that when people aren't busy, when they aren't expecting to succeed, when they're in a state of indecision, okay, behaving as followers instead of leading, at least leading themselves. In other words, not determined, not self-determined in where they're going, looking for something to happen to them, looking for someone else to make decisions for them. When I confront this, which is very easy to confront, I tend to, I think, see it for what it is. And hopefully, rather than being curt, which I think I was curt with someone this morning, just because it's taken them a friggin' month to make a decision. A month. And still haven't decided. So I was just like, you know what? Good luck. And you know what that means. But I'm often able to demonstrate rather than and it's not my intention to offend or whatever, but demonstrate where I'm going, and people can walk the path or not. I suppose there's the gutter or whatever. But if people say they want to be on this path, let's say with business, let's say that you're a busy entrepreneur. Let's say you've got an opportunity for someone to get on board as an employee or a contractor, or like in the network marketing space, a marketer, some part of the sales organization, right? And they're hemming and hawing, and I don't know, and I'll try, and I got to talk to my wife, I got to pray on it, I got to ask my dog and my goldfish what they think, and oh my goodness, right? If you're moving at a rapid pace, how much are you going to suffer indecision? Because here's the thing, and we talked about this before briefly, and I think it's worth bringing up again, that I will suffer and accept my own slowness, my own not getting stuff done, to the degree that I also accept my own indecision, my own excuses, and yours, to the degree that I'm in agreement about, I can't, or there's something more I need to deliberate on, or any of this kind of accepting my own story about stuff. To that degree, I go slower, and I seem to be fine with it, and then I will also humor your indecision as well. Kind of like it takes one to know one. Remember that from when we were kids? Takes one to know one. Yeah, it kind of does. It kind of does. So what's my role in all this? Well, hopefully show up as a resourceful person, a decisive person, a person who's going swiftly in a positive direction that can, sweep up anyone else enthusiastic about going in a direction of, being, doing, and having more. Okay, great. But there are people, especially, and now I'm talking to anyone who has wondered, why hasn't this person, accepted my offer? Why hasn't this person, gotten off their butt and done something? We see this with parenting sometimes, where here's the problem child who is now a problem teenager, who is now a problem adult, not a productive member of society, kind of, parasitic, or always not able. Okay. And not willing to stand up, okay, and take a swing and do something, right? The person who's attempting to be a positive influence may be wondering, why don't they get the memo? But look, we all experience life through filters. I don't think I'm saying anything novel or earth-shattering here. I think I'm just stating the obvious. Reality isn't real. It's as through our filters, right? That's how we experience reality. And so what's the saying? I think that's in scripture, right? Those to hear, but they do not hear, see, but do not see. Many are called, few are chosen, that sort of thing. Now, that doesn't mean you can't change your filters. We can. And I've had to multiple times change my filters just so that I can see, because obviously my best thinking only got me this far, but not further. And I didn't come this far just to come this far, right? There's a bigger game afoot if I'm willing to open my eyes and look. If I'm willing to open my ears and hear. If I already knew everything, well, I wouldn't be in this conversation with you, right? If I already knew everything, I'd be sitting here quiet. We could all just sit around and get lofty or something. And what did Lao Tzu say? Those who speak do not know, those who know do not speak. So obviously I'm still finding myself. But if you're wondering why others may not be as ready to get on board, let's say with your offer, we're talking entrepreneurial now, right? Or your parenting advice, or the fact that you're showing up at the gym and they for some reason can't seem to do so. It's because of their filters, their innermost expectation, their self-belief. Maxwell Maltz talked about this in psychocybernetics, that thermostat, which is set, and no matter how much force we apply, it just keeps returning to the preset program. For me, this all comes down to what program am I running? And that is a decision that I have to make, or it's going to be made for me. This is why, and I keep coming back to this one word, indecision. This is why indecision is the biggest enemy in my life. I was just, believe it or not, I did have some time of not being insanely busy over the last couple of days. And during that time, I was wondering, all right, what do I do? I'm thinking ahead now, what would be the best course of action? And there's no guarantees, you see, right? I could do this, I could do that. Some of you are facing decisions right now that you haven't made yet. And so I had to face some decisions. What am I going to do about that? And for as long as I was in the conversation with myself about what am I going to do, I was very uncomfortable. Anybody want to try that? I mean, just that one affirmation. What am I going to do? Right. Okay. So you're affirming that you don't know, that you're not decided. Right. To me, my heart sinks when I hear that. But when I put my attention back on, here's what I have to accomplish. And I said have to on purpose, because I have to create my own urgency, because as easy as it is to do the right thing, it's even easier to just not do it. Right. So I have to create my own urgency on this stuff. And so once I've decided on targets, now I can decide on what to do. Okay. Now this doesn't mean we're thinking in reverse. Okay. But the whole point of becoming someone who does certain things is to have a certain result. I heard this recently where people said, what do you want to be when you grow up? To little Johnny, what do you want to be when you grow up? And little Johnny is 8 years old or something. And he has no friggin' idea. Astronaut, scientist, dinosaur catcher, whatever, right? Better question. What do you want to have when you grow up? Oh, well, I want to have a big house and a nice family, maybe some influence in the, in the community, maybe be president or something. Okay. So you want to have a certain experience. Okay. Well, what would you have to do to have that experience? Well, I don't know yet. I'm little Johnny. Okay. But as they grow through life, as long as they can keep thinking about the fruit on the tree, keep that carrot in front of them, right? They can think, well, that won't get me there. Okay. That action, that decision. All right. So I'm going to say no to that. That's decisive. That's not indecision. That's decision. That's a no. Thank you. Okay. Oh, that's a yes, right? I could study biology. I want to be the doctor, right? To do I want to cure people, right? I want to have that experience. Right. So it's all based on the experience, the end result that we want to have, which continues to crystallize. Okay. But based on what I intend to have, I can make decisions about what I'm doing. But I'm doing that as the person who has become he who would have that result. So if we need a target, and we do, then let's target that which we intend to accomplish, that experience we intend to have, as a result of whatever efforts are going to take there. But then we just have to decide that we are the person who's going to have that we will not be denied. That makes us decisive right there. That makes us decisive. And now all the doing this, right? As the person who's decided, I shall not be denied. I shall have that result. I shall experience those fruits. Okay. I am that person now. Great. What does that person do? Okay. And I'll tell you what that person doesn't do. They don't sit there in a state of chronic indecision, wondering what to do. And we have wins and we have losses. That action succeeded. That action failed. Learning experience, whatever. Optimize. Do that one better. Eliminate that one. Right? Do it. Don't do it. But it's all towards what? A predetermined destination. The thermostat was already set. Here's what I shall have. And as that person, let me go figure out some stuff. But we can't steer a parked car. And so that's the thing that kind of digs in me a little bit, like a little thorn in the side, is if I'm witnessing people who can't get off of zero, they just can't get out of their own way. I've got a choice to make. I could either go into agreement with that, and I guess be part of the problem and sit there and commiserate about indecision or something, or I can just get on with it. And those who have ears to hear will hear, and they just get right on board. And this, I think, for anyone who's in the business of inducing others to also be, do, and have more, right? Lindsay, I know you're in that space, right? Many of us are doing things professionally that could help people accomplish much more in their lives or enjoy their lives much more. I work with a group of e-commerce people doing like print on demand, uh, coffee cups and t-shirts and all that. Some of them are here in this group. And that doesn't sound terribly profound. Okay. But does the coffee cup brighten somebody's day? Okay. Well, now it's your moral obligation to put it in the hands of that customer. It's your moral friggin' obligation to get it sold. So that's how I look at it. That may sound a bit extreme, but that's, if people want to ask me, and they do a lot, how do I get the statistics that I get? How am I that much more influential? Or if you look at like my closing rates or whatever, why are they exponentially higher than most people? I'm already decided. And I know that whatever the offer is, even if it's not something like I don't buy that particular coffee cup or whatever, but I know that's the good and right offer for you. Well, damn it, you're going to buy it. Lindsay's laughing. Lindsay knows. Stuart, who's here with us now. Thank goodness. We love Stuart. He's been through some stuff. Okay. But here's the thing. Like this guy, he knows like llama trekking in the mountains and stuff. And is that of benefit to his ideal target audience? Yeah. Now he hasn't been able to do that, with the back injury stuff, but now we're getting back to it. Right. And we will. But there's no like doubt about that. Like going back to Dorothea Brand, Wake Up and Live, right? The book we've all been reading. Hopefully you've been reading it. There's no inner conflict about that. There's no indecision. There's no intention versus counterintention. There's no maybes. Maybe, right? We're going on a freaking llama trek, everybody. We're going to go ahead and rub sticks and stones and make fire. And we're going to eat, whatever we eat on the trail, man. And we're going to freaking do it. Yeah. Right. And so that's decided. That's decision. I can't wait to do that, by the way. I know there's a lot of people here that are like ready to book a trip to Taos, New Mexico, baby, where I've never been. Anyway, I'm getting pretty far afield of what I was talking about before. I guess the whole bottom line for me is that when I'm in decided forward movement, I tend to waste less time with people who don't want to be in decided forward movement. And I tend to attract people who are looking to move. When I'm sold myself, we could put this another way. When I'm sold myself, it's not like a convincing thing. I need to like convince you or something to like do something that you already know you should do, right? If somebody said to you, if we're standing around and there's like a group of people and they're like, where are we going to go to dinner? And nobody can make a damn decision. Well, maybe this place, maybe that place. But then one person shows up and says, hey man, it's Johnny's taco shop down the street, man. Best tacos ever. Let's hit it. They start walking. The whole group is walking. It's done. That's a done. That's a decision. So I'm just looking at how I can be that, but at the same time, do it with a smile, because I don't really demand that people like me, but I think they should respect me because of my ethics and because of my decisiveness and because, my goodness, how many people have, and I'm not taking credit for this, okay, but how many people have benefited from the principles that we keep putting forth through groups like this, right? Through these conversations, through the books that we read, and through demonstrating right action, right? How many people benefit from that? It's way, 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 way more than the people who are just immediately in the conversation. Every time Suzanne shows up in life and in Switzerland, right, and does something of note, right? Others get to see that too. Here's an on-purpose person. Here's someone going somewhere in life. Right? She's part of the solution. She didn't even know it. Who was looking? I don't know who's looking. Okay. But she's moving. Here's a person moving, not sitting there and licking their wounds or wondering when COVID's going to be over or what the government thinks. No. Movement, decisiveness. You're part of the solution. Thank you, Suzanne. Right? Every time Ace Man, right, does something out of the box in terms of, not just going to do the same old, which is I've heard come out of so many people's mouths. Ace Man becomes part of the solution, right? But the principles were always there. It's just who's engaging, who's engaging in them. Maybe that's the punchline. Am I engaging in principles? And if so, how does that affect other people around me? They can accept, they can reject, they can neglect, ignore, participate, enroll. What's my job? Be the example. And we'll see what gets through, right? But I'll tell you what, when we're consistently decisive and in motion, I mentioned one example of a person who's taking a month to make a tiny little decision. Oh my God, right? You know how much good has been done in that month? How much money has been made in that month? You know how many other people have been served in that month? Oh my goodness. And it's not like a profound effort. It's tiny little efforts, but a month worth of them. Who was it that was telling me about atomic habits? Adrian, our resident scholar, Adrian Garner, was telling me about a book. Have any of you read? I have not. Atomic Habits, right? Where mathematically, like a 1% improvement over a year or something like a 37-fold, huge exponential, tiny little incremental means huge exponential over time. Man, who couldn't do that? I'll tell you who, a person who can't make a decision. Tiny little decision. We do it again and again and again. We decide who we are. We keep showing up as that. No competition, man. I have no competition. Stuart has no competition when it comes to llama treks, right? I love you guys. Thank you this is how I'm starting my week. I'm starting my week at warp speed and hopefully not pissing too many people off. Anybody have some thoughts you want to share? Please come on out. I love you guys. This is all with love and respect. Thank you for listening to this crazy Italian guy. Who's got some thoughts about this? Or did I just put you all to sleep? That could have just happened. Anybody? Anybody at all? Come on out. I see Lindsay. I see Linda. I see Gail, Stuart, Suzanne, Janet. Everybody's muted here. Everybody's muted. I hear something.
I'm muted.
Lindsay.
Yeah, you have to make a decision and get it done. I realized my son, he turned 15 this weekend, and of course he wanted his learner's driver's permit. He wanted to go first thing this morning. I was like, my first thought was, it's Monday morning, but that's what we did, and it's done. It's off my plate, on to the next. I was back before Mastermind, and it's just, life gets in the way, you handle it, and you keep going. Lots of life gets in the way, but you just make decisions, you handle it, and you let it go, move on.
And you did. So, and you're here to tell the tale. So it all worked out.
It is.
You know what, Lindsay, I'm not great at multitasking. So I really, I know some people claim to be, but what I have found is that if I've got to come off of this task and go on to the other task, I got to get that other task done so I can get back on this task, because focus for me has been totally necessary. So congratulations on getting done what you needed to get done. Decisively, action, right? Done. Awesome. Glad you're here, my friend. Stuart. Hey, Stuart.
Hey, so good to see you. So good
Thank
to see
you.
all of you. Oh my God, unbelievable. First general session in many a month, right? So,
Bam.
I know. Yeah, you mentioned I've been going through a lot physically. I feel like I turned the corner a couple of weeks ago, and I'm really in a place now where, while I'm still very focused on my healing and my recovery, I'm at a point now where I'm ready to get back to work, right? And I think that's why I joined today, and I'm grateful that you're here and really glad to see your face and hear your words. I wanted to start my week, with a kick in the ass. I got a lot of stuff to do. And I think, I got a little sticker on my desk here that says be, do, and have that I wrote, I don't know, a year ago or whatever the hell. And I appreciate, what you're saying. I think a lot of people, they want the rewards without doing the work. I want that stuff, whether it's, the reward, I've been doing PT every day, right? And last week, they had me doing squats and lunges and stuff, and just realizing how horribly out of shape I got, and just how, hard all that stuff is for me. But I know that putting in the work, I'm going to see the rewards, right? It was really just a month ago where I felt like I couldn't even really hold myself together. Like I said, I feel like I turned the corner a couple of weeks ago with that stuff. So, I mean, this message, right, it kind of hits me across different platforms. One, in terms of my own, physical recovery, doing the work, doing the core work, getting to the point where, I can sit up and sit at my desk for more than 5 or 10 minutes, right? It's like huge to me. So, yeah, I'm definitely at the place now where I got stuff to do, and I got to get busy. I like what you're talking about, respect, right? And I know that there's this, idea that, you don't have to like me, but you got to respect me, right? And I immediately go to, if we show other people, whether it's people that work for us, clients, whatever it may be, right? That level of respect, mutual respect, I find that it always comes back tenfold or whatever it is. And being a wilderness guide, being out on the trail with groups of people that of many different viewpoints and political opinions and all this kind of stuff. And whether it's from each other or from myself or whatever, right? I really just try and foster a certain level of respect in my sphere, right? And I think that it's a powerful space to create, and I think everybody benefits from that, including ourselves. Indecision, right? I know that, it's a big topic. Indecision, greatest enemy, right? We can sit around scratching our heads or other parts, trying to figure out what to do. But you can't act, or you can't take action until you make a decision, right? And Lee and I have been going through a lot in terms of, what the next phases of everything for us are going to look like, right? And so I've been in a little bit of this space, but with the understanding and the intention that, in order to make a decision, you have to spend at least some time deliberating, whether it's in your head or whatever, like, okay, what are my options? What am I going to do, right? And there is something to be said about, making a snap decision. I think, for me, I'm really at the point where, yeah, I got stuff to do, and I need to take action. And in order to take action, you have to decide. You have to make that decision to actually do something, right? And that's what pulls you out of indecision is, making that. It sounds silly, right? You make a decision to take action, and then that pulls you out of that the void or the abyss of indecision or whatever it is. I'm creating my own urgency right now. I liked how you said that. And, I think part of that, like you're saying, is like remembering where it is you want to go, and I think in that process, identifying or restating or remembering what your goals are and what it is that you need to do to get there, right? And again, all this stuff is just coming flooding back to me because I really do feel like I've just been, laying in my own version of a hospital bed here, for the last several months. And so this is all powerful stuff, man. And
Well, this was all for you, Stuart.
Oh man,
Yeah.
I'm so glad. I really am.
Actually, it was all for me. I need to hear this stuff. You just get to listen in. Yeah.
Appreciate it. And, I liked what you said about, no matter what it is that you're doing, you got to really put yourself in it. And, if you're selling coffee cups, you might think, yeah, whatever, it's just a coffee cup, what the hell? But I really do like your perspective on, yeah, man, you got a moral obligation to sell the best damn coffee cup that there was, and to make sure that, the people that want those are going to get them and be satisfied with them. And it goes back to everything you're talking about, or you've talked about in terms of, how do you show up in the marketplace? How do you impinge on the market or consumers or whatever. So kudos, man. Glad to be back. Glad to hear your voice. Nice to see all your faces. Cheers.
Glad to see you, brother. Hey, do you have, and maybe this is a little bit of urgency, right, that I can offer you. Do you have like a target date for maybe, a llama tour or
Oh
something,
my
like a
God.
little hike, anything?
Well, it's funny. I mean, I guess, going back to the be do have and putting in the work and things like that, at least a few days a week now, Leah and I are going out on little adventures. And it started with, a half a mile, whatever, that kind of thing. And, just the other day, well, just yesterday, we went on a walk and we pulled some nice elevation gain, which is something I hadn't done in a while. Feeling it for sure, but definitely coming back to the place of realizing that yeah, I can do this, because it was kind of a question mark. Like, I didn't know what the results were going to be of the surgery, how I was going to heal up. I mean, they say it's a 9-month recovery, so I'm still in the first trimester of recovery, let's say.
So perhaps springtime?
Yeah, I mean, springtime seems like the thing. And I've been, just going back to making decisions and all that stuff, I put all the pieces in place for starting back up again in the spring. And so that's kind of what I'm thinking of. And honestly, regardless of professional, yeah, I think I think physically I'll be ready to, rub some sticks and stones together and go pick some flowers and things like that. On one of our recent hikes, maybe a few weeks ago, we were picking some wild mushrooms, right? And I'll talk a little more about this tonight with the imagination chapter of Wake Up and Live. But the other day, I was just kind of visualizing myself, being in the forest, up on the mountain, and that there's action, right? And so, yeah, there's the difference between daydreaming and creative imagination, right? And so for me, like, just the smell of the forest and the smell of these mushrooms and seeing myself hiking and moving, like, again, they may be imaginal, but they're imaginal acts, right? And so that concept of moving myself closer towards my goal. But I'll tell you what, man, I'm pulling a good 4 or 5 miles a pop, and I'm feeling good physically. I feel it afterwards. I got to recover a little bit, but yeah, man, I'm getting there. So yeah, springtime with the llamas for sure.
Beautiful. When does the snow end in Taos?
Well, what's cool for me here, I mean, you could imagine like Flagstaff, let's say, where there's quite, there's a high desert in the lower elevations, and then there's alpine terrain in the upper elevations. So here, I managed to, even though we're in the Southern Rockies, I managed to pull, an 8-9 month hiking season, because in the springtime, we spend our time in the desert down in the Rio Grande Gorge, which is like our little Grand Canyon out here. And that's like March, April, and then by May, June, then the snow melts in the mountains. So it's this, there's definitely a gradient. But springtime, yeah, would be more deserty, hikey, because there's still plenty of snow up in the mountains.
Okay, I'm just considering, like Ace, Armin, and me, and other bikers just rolling into Taos, and when that's a good time, because we don't do the snow thing,
Oh yeah, absolutely. We'll
Okay, good.
about that.
Keep us.
I thought about you guys this year in May, because we have our big Memorial Day weekend biker rally in Red River in the Enchanted Circle. And so, by the middle of May, I hear on the highway just, the rumbling of the thousands of bikes that are coming into the area. So I was definitely thinking of you guys this year.
All right. Now we know. Ace, put it on your calendar, May. There we go. All right. Anybody else? Thank you, Stuart. So good to see you, brother. Anybody else wants to talk? Commence talking. I see Ace and Daisy Edwards here, Gail, Janet, Khaled, hello, Linda, Lindsay, Robin, and Suzanne. All right, last call, and then we'll wrap up for today. All right, we're done. So let's get on with it. We got a lot to get done, right? I'll see you guys actually at 9 p.m. for me or Eastern time, And at 3 p.m. Eastern, we've got our e-commerce work group with Emma and Neil. Make it a great day.